So I know I said in my last video that my next video would probably be either a room tour or about another Agatha Christie book, but I've just finished reading the book this morning and I felt that I had to make this video straight away. So the book I've just finished reading is Everyday Sexism by Laura Bates. I've owned this book for quite a while and I only just got around to reading it, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I've always identified as a feminist, and I know that's a term that gets battered around and gets a lot of hate, and is associated with men hating, bra burning, horrible people for some bizarre reason. But that's not what feminism is, and this book totally encapsulates that and totally explains why we still need feminism today. Like, it's 2014 and everyone always says to me, oh, but women are equal, oh, but you don't need to worry about that, everything's fine. Newsflash, it's fucking not. So the premise of this book is that Laura Bates was walking home from work one day and she got catcalled, and by the time she got home she was angry because this happens to her daily, and she just hit the wall and was like, this isn't right, this shouldn't be happening to me. So she set up a website called Everyday Sexism and encouraged women to put their stories online of sexism that they face on a day-to-day basis. And she never really expected it to go anywhere. She never thought a whole lot would come of it. And it exploded, and people were tweeting her, writing to her, Facebooking her, uploading their stories onto this website, basically saying, this happens to me every day and I thought it was okay and I thought I just had to accept it. But seeing all these other stories made me realise that actually is wrong and this shouldn't still be happening. The project is now in, I think, 18 countries worldwide the last time that she checked. And people are writing into her from all over the world, from Canada, from China, from Japan, from Afghanistan, from Iraq, from the UK, from America, from continental Europe, and just saying, this happens to me. And I'm really glad that I'm not the only one that this happens to, and I'm not the only one who thinks this is wrong. So she wrote a book. The book has about 12 chapters, and each chapter tries to cover a small part of a certain problem that women face. So there's a chapter on women in education, there's a chapter about women in universities, there's a chapter about women who work in an office or work in a very male-dominated society such as science or finance. And the book is interspersed with stories from these women, with statistics from surveys from various sort of, I don't know what to call them, organisations. So there's YouGov, there's the National Union Student Survey, there's Ipsos Mori, there's, charitable surveys and all this kind of stuff, and she's overwhelmed by what women still face in society today. One story that really shines out at me from the book is the story of a 13-year-old girl who wrote to her and said she cries herself to sleep every single night because the boys at her school are constantly showing her images of pornography, and really horrific pornography at that matter by the sounds of it. And she is so scared to have sex that she cries every single night before she goes to sleep and decides that she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want that to happen to her. And that's absolutely heartbreaking that someone so young is so affected by the way that women are portrayed and the way women are demeaned in media. And she doesn't say, pornography's bad, let's ban pornography. She says that the way women are portrayed in pornography as, generally speaking, objects that can be used by a man, they're there for the man's pleasure, and the horrific things that some women do in pornography is the problem. The problem is the way that society, for whatever reason and through whatever channels, teaches women that they're there as a commodity for men in that sense. And it also teaches them that they're never going to be the same thing a man can be. So from a very young age, girls feel that, they might want to be doctors or scientists or accountants or anything like that. And they're told that they're not spheres of work for women, that women can't do these things. and that if they want to do that, they should just, be a PA, they should be a secretary, they should be an office assistant. Whereas we should be telling these young women that they can be anything that they want to be in society, and that's okay, because they're no less than anybody else. So basically the whole book and the whole project is her trying to combat everyday sexism, in the sense that, not that it happens every day, but that it's part of everyday society, and it's so ingrained into the way that women think about themselves as well as the way that other people think about women. And I'm going to hold my hands up here and say I'm guilty. I'm guilty of being sexist in a way that a lot of the time I don't even realise that I'm doing it, because it is so ingrained into the mentality of society and into the mentality of young women that that's how society is, and that's how you have to live, and that's just suck it up and deal with it, basically. And it's so wrong, and it makes me so angry. So angry. And I don't care. I know that this is going to be a controversial topic for me to talk about. I know that men are going to say, oh, you'll just get off your high horse, you don't need to worry about this, you're just talking crap. But I'm not. In 2013, in the finance sector alone, there was a 55% pay gap, which meant that on average a man doing the same job, who followed the same career path as a woman, was earning 55% more than she was. So anyone who says that, women have equality in the workplace, women, there's no pay gap, well, there is a pay gap, and it is substantial. The book also talks about women who may face other types of discrimination on top of this everyday sexism. So women from different races, of different nationalities, women who might have disabilities, members of the LGBTQI community. She's not saying that the chapter isn't saying that what she talks about in that chapter means that women don't experience other types of sexism, but it's to point out that these women who have other traits that mean that society think they're worth less than anybody else exist. And she's not trying to be exclusionary when she says this, and she says in the chapter that everything she talks about in the book applies to all of these women, but these women have double, triple, quadruple, any amount of discrimination just all thrown on top of each other. She also has a chapter about men, and about how women treat men, and how women can be sexist towards men, and it's not a problem in the sense that females have discrimination put up against them on a day-to-day basis, but it does happen, and until we can completely not discriminate between anyone on their gender, then this is the problem that we need to face. And it also also mentions men that are reading these stories and these tweets and reading the book and are writing to her and saying, I didn't realise what was going on, and I didn't realise that women were doing this every day, and it makes me sick, and it makes me want to change the way that I act, and it makes me want to intervene and change the way that I see other people acting in the street. And it's such an empowering book, and I feel that I need to spread this message, and I need to show as many people as possible that this is a problem that needs to be tackled, and it needs to be tackled now, and it needs to be tackled by you, by the individual, by the person. Because if we can teach people that, telling a little boy not to cry because girls cry, that's wrong. Telling a little girl that she can't have a microscope set, she has to have a cooker, that's wrong. Women who are in work environments who are too scared to report sexual harassment because they fear they might lose their job is wrong. And all of this has to come from us as an individual, from you as a person, to help turn around and say this is wrong, and I don't want to see this happening, and I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna stand up and say, no, this has to stop. Enough is enough. So her hashtag is #shoutingback, and the Twitter account is @Everyday Sexism. I'll pop them both in the link below this video. Please, if you feel you have a story to share your story, because you are not alone. Some of the statistics in this book are truly, truly horrifying, and the book moved me to tears on many occasions, and it moved me to anger on more occasions than I like to count. But more than anything, the book made me feel empowered as an individual, not as a woman, as an individual, to be able to stand up and say this is wrong, and when I feel uncomfortable to turn around and say no, fucking stop, this is not appropriate. Yeah, it's a fantastic book. Laura Bates is a fabulous writer. I implore every single person to at least go on the Twitter account and read, or go on the website and read some of these stories that women are posting, because we can make a difference. To quote Laura Bates in the book, a storm is coming and we are going to ride the wave, and we are going to fucking piss all over the patriarchy and piss all over misogyny, and it's going to take a long time, and it's not going to be easy, and it's going to be small, tiny, tiny baby steps. And it's not saying that once one legislation is changed, everything's going to be okay, because it's not that simple. We need to teach people, we need to educate people about stereotypes and misogyny and sexism that is so ingrained in society that you don't even notice that it's happening. But yeah, please everybody, just read the book, and just think before you speak, and think before you act. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to talk to me. Feel free to ask me anything. You can tweet me, you can put comments, questions in the comments below, and I will get back to every single one of you, because this is something that I feel very, very passionate about, and I want to spark that flame under so many people's asses, basically. So yeah, okay, that was my video. It's just turned into a little bit of a rant, which I apologise for a little bit, because it's never nice being ranted at. I don't apologise for what I'm saying, I apologise if you think I'm ranting, essentially. I will do a book review of a novel soon. Unfortunately, my internet in my new building is pretty bad, so it's taking me a long time to upload videos. But I will see you all soon. Thank you.